With the third overall pick, the Seattle Mariners.
I mean, the Mariners hotel suite right now, I know they're like, maybe we could get number one. Number three is huge.
So finally, an actual Mariners highlight of the 2024-2025 offseason as the Mariners got the third overall pick. Now, what were my feelings on that? You will find out after a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. So yeah, this is actually huge for the Seattle Mariners. Now, although that this third overall pick may not make any kind of instant impact, I mean, it's probably going to take like 2 to 3 years until we see whoever this player is that would be called up to Major League Baseball. I mean, that's just how it works. Like these minor league baseball players, whenever they're drafted, they have to go through years of, well, developing in the farm system, between going from rookie ball all the way to AAA. And although some of the good ones, they actually skip AAA from the AA to get to Major League Baseball level. Now, how do I feel about this? I mean, there's really not much to say, but it is pretty exciting that the Mariners got the third overall pick, considering that they only had a 0.5% chance to get the number one pick. And let's look and see who are the possible best prospects, looking at the 2025 mock draft of the 2025 MLB draft. So looking at it right now, as of now, the best player in the draft is Ethan Holiday. He is the brother of Jackson Holiday, who is playing for the Baltimore Orioles right now. He did get some playing time in the 2024 season. He didn't really do much as he was really rushed into the major leagues. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really say for sure how good Jackson Holiday is going to be. None of us are going to know as he just pretty much started Major League Baseball. As I believe he was the first overall pick in the 2022 MLB draft. And let me double check that. It either could be 2022 or it could have been 2024 or 2023. It was the 2022 MLB draft that he was the number one overall pick. He was also ahead of Drew Jones, where his father is Andruw Jones. If any of you 90s born baseball fans, you guys would probably know who that is. So that is the first overall pick of expectation. Probably unlikely to see Ethan Holiday ending up landing with the Seattle Mariners, but you never know, right? Then the Angels, they got Jace Laviotte. I can't even say his name. I probably said his name wrong. He's an outfielder, 6'6", with fantastic athleticism. He is a candidate for the Angels, and I guess I would expect the Angels to go for him, considering that Mike Trout has been a heavily injured player, so maybe they want to find some replacements for that outfielder. Now for the Mariners. For the third overall pick, they are projected to pick Tyler Bremner. He is a right-handed pitcher out of UC Santa Barbara, so maybe, considering that he have already gone to college, maybe he could be more MLB ready. So we'll see, because Jace, he could be more MLB ready as he went to Texas A&M, so he already went through college. And Ethan Holiday is from high school, so he's probably going to take quite a bit of years. And it looks like much of these players in the top 10, I would say at least like half of them are either college or they're high school. And actually looking at the top 10, it looks like much of them are in high school. So I would think that, I guess if the Mariners really want to develop their starting pitching, which they're going to have to in the farm system eventually, because looking at George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, by the time 3 years have passed, by the time we've got this potential prospect, let's say Tyler Bremner is the prospect for the Mariners, by the time he is ready to go, who knows if the Mariners will even have 2 or 3 of those starters, because in my prediction, I expect the Mariners to lock up maybe just Logan Gilbert or George Kirby. I think George Kirby might be gone, but I know that's a little bit too far to see. And also got to see what are the Mariners going to do with Bryce Miller and Brian Wu once they enter the arbitration years. And based on the prospects that the Mariners have right now, it seems that they do have to load up more on starting pitching and possibly the relief pitching eventually, as although last year the Mariners really did try to load up on pitching prospects, as in 2023, they started loading up on offensive prospects. So I expect the Mariners to maybe go into pitching. Maybe they'll balance it out a little bit. But here's the thing. It's not like the Mariners absolutely need to have... It's not like... So here's the thing. Like the third overall pick, like having a top 10 pick really does help. And it does help even more considering the Mariners are a contender. But the thing is, no picks of successful picks are ever guaranteed, especially in Major League Baseball, where it is definitely more of a crapshoot, because you could be the first overall pick, or you could be somewhere just hanging where you just got picked barely or even undrafted, and you could still be a successful player. Now, the only difference I see, if you get like if you're a top 10 player in the draft, you'll get more bonus incentives, or you'll get a little bit more money rather than the players that were picked a lot later. Now, I want to take a look at the Mariners' top prospects right now, and let's see who they've got. Most of their top prospects are on the offensive side. We got Colt Emerson, Cole Young, Lazaro Montez, Harry Ford, Felnine Celestine, Tyler Locklear, and I can't even say Durango. No, it's not Durango. You know what? I'm just going to ask what Google thinks of how it should be pronounced, because obviously I cannot pronounce his name one freaking bit, and I feel kind of embarrassed. But let's see what it's actually pronounced as. Durangelo Chinchilla. That is, according to Google, what that name is. Then we got Ryan Sloan, Johnny Farmello, and Logan Evans. So 3 of the top 10 prospects right now are on the pitching end. And when you go towards the bottom of it, it's a little bit mixed, and there's a little bit more pitching prospects. But the thing is, maybe the Mariners will try to get that more impact player for the starting pitching rotation. But if the Mariners somehow get Ethan Holiday, somehow in that, if he falls to the third pick, I would certainly not be opposed to picking him. Now, my thoughts on how the draft should be approached, I would say always, when in doubt, always go for that best available player. Like, I don't think you necessarily have to go for needs in baseball, because you can always, like, let's say if you draft too many of like starting pitching or offense or vice versa, you can always leverage them. You can always leverage them for trades in the future if you are willing to risk prospects. So that's what I would do. Like, I don't think you necessarily have to go for needs. I think in baseball, you should go for the best available player. Now, what can the Mariners benefit like right now for having such a high draft pick? I think what they can do is they can maybe leverage some of their top prospects and go for that offensive bet that the Mariners absolutely need, where it may cost some of those top 10 prospects. And they were being asked for when, let's say, the Mariners were going for like the likes of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. if they were going to, or Yandy Diaz back in that trade deadline. And I'm pretty sure any of those top 10 prospects were in the conversation. I mean, the Mariners, they gave up their top 10 prospect in Jonathan Clase to get Jimmy Garcia, which unfortunately that didn't work out because he suffered injury, so he couldn't really be effective. But I think that's what the Mariners should do, is try to see if they can leverage any of their current prospects and turn them into hopefully an impact player so the Mariners can compete for the World Series. So I think that's how the Mariners are impacted right now, is seeing what they can do with their current prospects, because let's say if they trade some of their prospects and they're going to feel like that they're losing the prospects, they can always make it up through international signings, next year's draft, as long as they draft well, of course. Like, there's always opportunities to load up on your farm system. Like, it's not like Mariners have Bill Bavase, where he basically just traded everything. And even during his time, he even lost a first-round pick. He actually lost that first-round pick, Bill Bavase, when the Mariners signed Raul Ibanez, because I guess they signed him too early. I guess hindsight's 2020, but yep, Bill Bavase not only blew up prospects, he also cost the team some first-round picks as well. Well, that is my thoughts on the Mariners getting the third overall pick. It's a pretty exciting moment, at least a pretty small exciting moment, because the Mariners haven't really done anything in the offseason. But I thought I'd just put out my thoughts and see what the Mariners can do with that third overall pick and with their current prospects. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification, as it does help the algorithm of this channel. And go Mariners.